Hi everyone, this is Killshot from the 99 Dead, and this is The Walking Dead Season 9 with a burning question. Will Alpha beat Carol? This is not just a yes or no question, even though it sounds like that, because many people have chimed in and they have their emotions and they have their thoughts. But we're going to break this down as to the path this could take. This is a conversation we started midweek. We were doing a little bit of predictions, then some news came out. We got into our spoilers. But it was very interesting dialogue around this, and I want to get a little bit more of your feedback included in this. Of course, this is our Saturday morning streams. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here at 11 a.m. Or if you're international, this is a stream we set up really for a lot of our international viewers because, overseas it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So we want to get as many people as possible engaged in these chats. And this is also something that's going to be not really spoiler related, so it's kind of a safe stream for people to watch. Won't be super long stream. And then tomorrow, of course, we're going to do our Walking Dead Day countdown. We could have a change in that. Normally we do 12 o'clock on Sundays. I'm leaning a little bit more toward just for tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Got some other events and some other stuff. Before we get too far into it, just want to say, you guys know the moderators here, and we love our moderators. Steph, the Cuervo Queen, had a loss in the family earlier in the week, so just want to say our thoughts and our prayers go out to Steph. She's not going to be here today, but she has been in a couple streams, extremely strong, and we're right here for you. So thank you so much for everything that you do, and the 999 Army is always going to be there for you. All right, we're going to get into today's topic, and it is Alpha and Carol. Look, we kind of jumped into, we saw Henry and Lydia. This is, I guess it's mini spoiler, okay? There will be some conversation between Henry and Lydia. You already know that. And this happened, I guess maybe it's not a spoiler because it happened last week. It's kind of like my mom, your mom, they're kind of comparing bruises, literally and figuratively. And they're also comparing, family background, all of those. I have to tell you, from everything that I've heard about Alpha, she is a beast. Evil, relentless, just unbelievable. So the first thing that you probably say is, hey, we've seen Carol. We've seen Carol. Carol can bake some cookies. Carol can do the things that other people can't do. Carol can set the saviors on fire. She can. But the thing is, with Carol, a lot of times there's pause, there's strategy, there's rationale. There's a method to it. And sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't work. One thing about Alpha is it seems like she makes a decision, she makes it quick, whether it is to kill, to not to kill, to follow, to have a strategy. And it scares me about this matchup and this showdown. And I do think that Carol is going to be at an extreme disadvantage early on. Carol has family. Carol's got Ezekiel. And I know a lot of people, we made bold predictions, right? That my bold prediction is that Ezekiel's going to die at the Red Fair. I think we're going to call it the Red Fair. I think it's going to go down in history. If I get a confirmed spoiler on that, I'm not going to talk about it in the streams, but until I hear it's confirmed, then I'm going to keep predicting it. But I don't think that Carol is immediately going to turn into attack beast mode Carol. I think when or if something happens to Ezekiel, I think it's going to hurt. I think Carol's going to feel that loss initially and not the ruthlessness that she's going to need at that moment. So I do feel like Alpha is going to start to break Carol down. Maybe not snot bubble Rick broken down, but broken down where Carol feels a little bit of loss. And if you couple that with Henry potentially being in danger, I don't think Henry's going to die. But I do think it's going to add another layer onto Carol's loss and Carol's means of protecting. Omicron just left a really good comment here. Alpha is what Carol could have become. Sorry, Lakeith. I can't reference it any other way. It's just to make you remember it. But we're going to get what the characters are. And to Omicron's point, this is the path that Carol could have went down. And Carol's been back and forth, right? She could have, she killed without mercy. And then she reeled it in and stopped. She killed again, and then she's reeled it in. Almost like Morgan. But she is going to have a reason. But Carol's not afraid to toss a match on the fire, literally, right? Carol will light you up. No doubt about it. So if Carol is alpha, alpha is Carol on steroids. I know the initial response is because everybody, this is good versus evil, all of these battles that we see. But we give Carol an advantage because we've lived through Carol. We've seen Carol. We've seen what she's gone through. When we see alpha, we're going to have some of that same fear. And I don't think everything that we're doing is based on reputation right now. We haven't seen any of it. It's based on, I heard alpha's evil. I heard she can do this. But when you have the actors say that she brings a whole different level to the show that we've never seen before, Army, trust me when I tell you this. Some stabbings, some beheadings, some skinnings is going to turn this whole thing upside down. What's up, Zach? Thanks for being here. So Lynn Nesvik brought up and said, how about a Carol Negan showdown against Alpha? Lynn, there's no doubt that Negan and a few others are going to be a resource. But I just feel like it's going to be mano-a-mano. I think Negan's going to be a resource to help with the Whispers. I think Negan's going to be a resource to help with Beta and some of the others that will get out there. But when it comes down to it, let's think of plot and potential. On the TV show, what would be the most fitting? Let's kind of think about our prediction of how this could work out. So, before that, so in the comic, spoiler alert, everybody, just for the comic, you should know at this point, Negan is the one that killed Alpha, okay? And, when he decapitates her, he says, wait till Rick gets a look at this. The reason I don't think it's going to play out that way, number one, we're not 100% that Alpha is going to die on the TV show. I know we think it should happen that way. Eventually, they should kill him off. I'm of the view that I would love for a few Whispers to get away and they always be lurking and hunting and, you never feel safe. I love that element of evil. But let's just say for argument's sake that Alpha is going to die in season 10 and she's going to be decapitated by somebody. So if in the comic it was Negan, why, go with my prediction here, if Ezekiel were to die and be killed by Alpha, would it not be super, super appropriate that Carol be the one to decapitate Alpha? That Carol be the one to carry out that level of vengeance? And do you think that would make a better story for Carol to do it after the loss of Ezekiel, or for Negan to do it as if it's in the comic book? Now, I'm putting aside that I would rather keep some Whispers alive, because I would. But I do think that's kind of the rise, the vengeance, the vindication, and what could ultimately transition out of the Whisperer War into the other things that the TV show, whether it's Commonwealth or whether there's another story that they want to develop. It's okay, Ellis. You don't have to agree. It's everybody's opinion. But I see it playing out a certain way. Julia, I agree. And I think you will get a hero Negan. But I don't think you need Negan to kill Alpha to get a hero Negan. Especially when Michonne is probably leaving the show. Unless some major thing changes. I think you're already going to get a lot of opportunity for Negan to stand up and be a hero. Without having to be the one to kind of pull the blade on Alpha. There's going to be a lot more acceptance. So E Beach kills. When will Alpha's death come? First of all, Eric, it ain't going to happen this year. Not in season 9. It may, I would say at the earliest it would happen would be mid-season finale of season 10, if it were to happen at all. Alpha's resourceful. Alpha might be a survivor. She might find a way to get away. But I hope if she dies that it is Carol that vindicates her. It vindicates Ezekiel. So you guys have seen the rumors. They're hot and heavy out there. Look, we've lost Andy. We lost Lauren. The rumors out there is that we're losing Michonne, Denai. And also, last week there was a rumor about Ezekiel. Not confirmed, but a rumor that Kari would be moving on. There's people that have talked to him at Walker Stalkers and Comic-Cons, and that information is sort of not confirmed, and they're not going to confirm it, so they've reached out. I saw comicbook.com reached out to Kari's people. Yeah, come on. What the hell do you think he's going to say? Yeah, I spread that rumor. It's true. I mean, of course he didn't return your call and tell you that he's going to die. They signed non-disclosure agreements. But I feel like Michonne is more of a, she gets some data, she gets some information. She's got to go out and look for Rick. Leave open the possibility she could come back. Ezekiel, no. Ezekiel's dead as a doornail. He is gone. It's going to happen. I think Red Fair, speech, death, decapitation, Pike. I think all the above. Chaos. Chaos zone. Alpha's moment. Alpha's claim to fame, her moment is going to be, she's going to be the one that killed Ezekiel. Janet, do you think Judith and Negan will go back to Alexandria, or will get a plot twist? I definitely think, Janet, a plot twist. I don't see Negan going back to jail. I could be wrong on this, but I think it's a little cumbersome, and if he is in jail, it won't last very long. It just seems like on their way back, there's going to be some other drama that gets them sidetracked, and Negan's journey is now going to include Judith. And the one thing that you guys have to remember is that we respond very well to good versus evil major events. Kind of like Jared. We knew we're not going to hold against Samantha Morton. She's going to be a great, great alpha. But she's going to kill some people. And she's going to kill some people in brutal fashion. And I don't know about you, but I want my villains to be villains. I want my villains to be no doubt about it. And she's done nothing. All she's done at this point is pulled a shotgun on a couple people. So as far as I'm concerned, she's Herschel. So everything that I'm fearing with her is based on her reputation. But when my eyes see it, and I can try to digest it, and not digest it, and I'm going to be mad because, wait a minute, she just killed one of my favorite. I loved Ezekiel. She's going to have to. She's going to have to get that medal. She's going to have to get that badge of honor of being the best villain on The Walking Dead. And Omicron, the buildup only goes so far for me. Because, and please, no spoilers, because if you want to know what's going to happen this week, I have produced a spoiler video on this channel. You can go back and watch it. It's an hour long. It is detailed. It is everything line by line from Spoiling Dead's fan page. and it is accurate. But if you want to know the background, the psyche, you're not going to like her this week. I can tell you. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but I can tell you all we've seen is her pull a shotgun, and now we're going to see her backstory, and we're going to understand from her backstory she gets zero benefit of the doubt. None, zero, zilch. And I love it. I love that they're going to shine that spotlight on how despicable she is. Because we're going to see this showdown with Carol and Alpha. And the fact that Carol has things to lose and Carol is going to look for her moment, it's going to weigh on her. It's going to slow her down. But here's why Carol can win. And I'm going to ask this question to each of you. What is Alpha going to do? They always do, right? The villains always make a mistake. What is Alpha going to do to give Carol, to give Daryl, to give Negan the opportunity to get our group back in the fight? Because probably going to lose Ezekiel. They're probably going to have Beta's a badass. He's just kind of kicking things over and taking prisoners. So Julia says, see, that's what usually happens, right? Sometimes when you win too fast and you win too easy, you have the potential to underestimate their abilities. And that's what everybody, I see, overconfidence, underestimating. Falling for Negan. All of these things could potentially be plot twist. They claim victory. They have victory, and they try to squash your soul. That's what Negan did, right? It's like he had the upper hand, but he just tried to bury him more and more and more. And I think if anything, we saw in Terminus a group that is not going to die. We saw with Negan a group that refused to give in. It only took one or two. We saw with Carol, turn the other cheek, willing to die for Henry. Oh, by the way, boom, I'll just set you on fire. We see with this group, once the pause kicks in, and once they get their wits, Daryl, Carol, Michonne, Negan are so much more powerful than the Whisperers. Anybody want to disagree? They have the ability to be the baddest group of badasses in the zombie apocalypse. But just because collectively they are stronger than the Whisperers does not mean that they're going to beat the Whisperers in the beginning. And the fact that they went through this, this bad experience, the fact that Rick left, Maggie left, they just lost Jesus, there's no true leadership. See, what do you see as the biggest problem of all three communities right now? There's one that just jumps off the page at me. And this has been a problem for 7 years. Exactly. Divided. Lack of leadership. No communication. They don't have a true leader. Michonne is not their leader. Ezekiel's not their leader. Tara is not their leader. Daryl is not their leader. Rick, was the person that, even though there were supervisors of each community, Rick called the shots. Alpha is the leader. She says it, they do it. Right now, they're just like a bunch of ants, and they don't know what the hell to do. And they're going to get called off. They're already caught off guard. They're already on the defensive. When we get the next defined leader on The Walking Dead, that's when they'll start to transition. A lot of people don't want it to be Negan. A lot of people are concerned that Daryl hasn't done it, although Daryl's starting to do a little bit of it. Could it be Aaron? No shot caller. Nobody calling the shots. These communities have to fall, and they have to funnel. I love that word. They have to kind of fall, sort it out, regroup. All the communities are probably going to fall except Hilltop, and one person is going to have to get the group together and say, it's time to fight. And it's going to be a battle for the ages. But the only way we're really going to appreciate that battle is by dealing with the loss. And the more people that lose people, the more vengeance, the more they have to fight for. And this is what I want to do, is I want to put out the fire just a little bit, because when I ask this question, will Alpha beat Carol? In my mind, the answer initially is yes, she will. But she won't win long term. Alpha kills Ezekiel, she beats Carol. Alpha captures Henry, she beats Carol. She could take her motivation. But something is going to turn the tide. And there's beating people, and then there's holding them down. Now, the one thing that we know, this group is not going to conform. They're not going to become whisperers. They're not going to live like that. So one, the mistake is Alpha's either going to get too greedy. I'm going to tell you this. If you capture Daryl and you capture Carol, you better kill him right away. Ecom with a super chat says, hey Kills, been thinking of a theory. Is it possible that Carol ends up with custody of Lydia after she kills Alpha? It is, but that would be a little creepy if Lydia and Henry were stepbrother and sister and then something came out of that. Maybe we don't need custody of teenagers in this world. I don't know that the typical family structure works in a zombie apocalypse. It's like saying, does Judith need custody? Maybe. I mean, Negan could probably look over, but I think Judith can take care of her own, and I think I would be willing to watch The Walking Dead and not worry about where Judith sleeps at night and who makes her meals. RJ's too young. RJ can leave with Michonne. Judith, I think, is ready to transition. Lydia, if Lydia lives through it, which is a big if right now, I don't think Henry needs a curfew. I don't think Lydia needs a curfew. I think let them go kill stuff and let's just kind of participate in their story. It's been raining where for 5 weeks, Michael? What? If it keeps on raining, the levee's gonna break. Hopefully, you don't get too much rain. Maybe it slows down. It's going to be spring before long. It'll dry up a little bit. Alpha greater than anyone else, says Whisperer Zeta. Well, it has to be that way for now, Zeta. For sure. I'm not going to disagree. However, I do think that's going to be the major storyline for Season 10. The rise of the group's going to have to find some leadership. They're going to have to rise up. But we got to enjoy the story. We got to enjoy the fear. We got to enjoy the breaking of Carol. before the rise of Carol. And let me say this before we close this down, because we're about 24 minutes. So we're going to try to keep it 25, 26 minutes. It takes a special kind of person to lose everything, to have somebody literally spit in your face, and to bide your time and wait for your moment until all of that frustration comes out, which would probably be enough incentive for Carol to decapitate Alpha. And I feel like that's the way it's going to go down. So my answer to the question is, will Alpha beat Carol? Yes, she will in Season 9, but in Season 10, there will be a drastic comeback. The group will get their stuff together, rise up against the Whispers, take down a couple of the decision makers and some of the leadership. Ecom, I do not think Alpha kills Henry. I did think that for a long time, with some of the rumors out there, some of the potential spoilers of Henry and Alpha kind of meeting on the road and a bloody machete. But there was no confirmation that Alpha ever killed Henry. So I think Henry's going to live through it. But I got to tell you, now more than ever, if I had to hang my hat on any theory out there, I would say, write down these words: the Red Fair, death of Ezekiel. I am not backing away with it. I'm going to go full speed ahead with this, and that is going to be where we really start to see the darkness, the evil. But I don't think that's going to be the first death. I do think there's going to be other death within the coming weeks as well. So that is, what about Henry when he meets Beta? Well, Henry's probably going to try to hit Beta with that little stick. And Beta's probably just going to kind of pick him up, throw him on his shoulder, and says, we're going to take you back to the camp. But keep in mind, not everybody's going to be captured. Negan's going to be out there. Judas going to be out there. Daryl could be out there. But the people that are there are definitely going to have something to fight for. Chip Smith in the house. What's up, Chip? Super chat, and it says 999 fam. How y'all been? We've been good. But I will tell you, we've been a little bit divided because we haven't had our whole crew together except for a couple of streams. I know, look, the premiere was an issue because there were spoilers out there. We're trying to keep the non-spoiler streams non-spoiler, thus the introduction there. But, word does get out. But I do love the reaction videos, Chip, because we've been great, and I will tell you, the reaction videos on Sunday nights are some of our best interaction. So with that being said, everybody, we are at 27 minutes. I want to thank everybody for being here on a Saturday, participating in the topic. Keep in mind, we are going to stream a little bit earlier tomorrow. It's either going to be 11 or 11:30, so just make sure you got the notifications. Subscribe to 999 Gaming, 999 Dead, and 999 Army. That's the only 3. So I know we had like 1,000 channels earlier. We've definitely narrowed it down. So one of those 3 is going to be where we're at, and look forward to seeing all of you guys. So we will be here early tomorrow, and then I'll probably do a comic book read sometime during the day, keeping that rolling. And then 8 o'clock we'll do our Walking Dead countdown, and then we'll do our reaction video. So we got a whole lot of stuff planned for next week. If you have any questions, check out our Facebook fan page, which has a calendar in the announcements. I want to thank all the patrons up there. You guys can see we got a couple returning patrons. We got Kimberly Smith, thank you so much. Also, Julie Schmidt, thank you. And a ton of other people that support this channel. You guys are absolutely amazing. If you guys are interested in becoming a Patreon, several people have asked me and sent me messages. There's always a link down in the comments. So I'll be posting some pictures a little bit later on of a evening excursion that I'm going on. So check that out on our Patreon site. Also to the sponsors over in the top right-hand corner. You guys are super, super awesome. You can see the crew up there. Once again, a shout out to my moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells, and a super special shout out to Steph, who had a loss in her family. So you guys do me a favor. Type Queen instead of 999. How about just a special for the Cuervo Queen, Steph, just to show her when she watches the playback of this video that she is on everybody's minds. And I'm going to leave it at that. No shout outs today, but if you guys could just type Queen there so the Cuervo Queen knows how much she means to each and every one of you. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate everything that you guys do. I will see everybody tomorrow at 11 to 11:30ish, sometime, 1 or 2. Thanks, everybody. Have a